Good morning. Good morning. All right. So today I'm going to talk about something that has sparked many arguments and debates. Sales tax. Now, first thing I want to say is that sales tax is one of the biggest taxes that people get away with not paying. And I'll tell you right now, you can get away with not paying sales tax and not reporting sales tax as long as you do not apply for a sales tax certificate. Once you apply for a sales tax certificate, then you can definitely get into some trouble for not reporting and not paying sales tax. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to pull up some documentation for you to prove what I'm saying is true, because a lot of times I have these conversations with people and they don't believe me and they argue with me. But it's just simple as this. You know, if you're selling something in the state of Texas, now every state is different. Every state is going to have their own rules and regulations and stuff like that. So I can't speak to every state, right? So this video is concerning strictly Texas, okay? If you're selling something in Texas, then you must charge and report and pay sales tax. Now, if you're not charging sales tax, that's fine. You still have to report it and you still have to pay it, okay? Now, will you get away with not paying it? Will you get away with not reporting it? Yes. Lots of people do. But please understand that if somebody wants to come after you, right, for whatever reason, whether it be a political situation, whether it be someone just being an a-hole, they can report you, and you will have to come off something for that sales tax. I've dealt with clients that have problems with sales tax in the past, and they will go into your bank account and they will freeze your accounts and they will take their money. I've seen it happen. Texas doesn't play. So again, like I said before, if you want to avoid sales tax, then I suggest that you do not get a sales tax certificate. Okay. Now, let's first talk about some of the benefits of a sales tax certificate, and then we'll go into sales tax. All right, now, if you get a sales tax certificate, it allows you to buy things without paying sales tax. And for some people, that can be a huge, huge plus. I have a client that I've been filing sales tax. What's that, Ron? I've been filing sales tax reports for years, and I just file a zero report every quarter. And so this young lady is able to go out and buy things and not have to pay sales tax, which saves her a couple $1,000s a year. And like I said, all we do is we just file a zero report every quarter. What that means is zero sales, zero purchases, zero sales tax, right? and that's just fine. We haven't had any issues, any problems. The only time that you will have an issue is if you're buying from a supplier that reports this information to the state of Texas, right? Typically, that's going to be a supplier that you have an account with. They have your sales tax certificate on file with them, right? A lot of times they'll be reporting that stuff to the state of Texas. But if you just walk into Best Buy and flash your resale certificate and you buy that big screen TV, you don't have to pay sales tax on that. All you need is a resale certificate, okay? But make sure, all right, I'll see what I can do, man. Make sure that that you are reporting, okay, that sales tax. Like I said, depends on who you are and what business you're in. You may have to report once a month. You may have to report once a quarter. It just depends. But make sure you're reporting that. Okay, now let's talk about paying sales tax. Okay, so this is, let me scroll up so I can show you. This is the Office of the Texas Comptroller, okay? The Texas Comptroller is who deals with sales tax and all this kind of stuff. Now, this particular article is concerning garage sales and Texas sales tax, and there's a reason why I brought this up, okay? So this is selling personal items, okay? This says simply, it says, if you sell tangible personal property, you may be required to have a sales tax permit and collect tax depending on how many sales you make during a 12-month period and the dollar amount of those sales. Okay, now here's the deal, guys. Listen to me. I'm going to say this again and make sure it's clear. This is a tax that most people do not pay. Okay, and Texas doesn't go after many people for this. However, If they wanted to, all they have to do is pull down your federal tax returns. And if you are a business and you're in the business of selling things, which means you have inventory, right, on your tax return, they can come after you. I haven't seen it, but it can happen. So that's going on. All right, now let's talk about this. Now, this is simple as just selling, like, you know, this is garage sale. This is like selling like your t-shirts and your old shoes and stuff like that, right? It says if you make occasional sales, right, which means you're selling something maybe once a year or something like that, then you don't have to pay sales tax. But comes up here, it says if during any 12-month period, okay, your sales are totaling up to $3,000 in the calendar year that were originally acquired for personal use. Again, this is just, you know, shoes, t-shirts, washing machines, okay, whatever. And this is just an example. It says, for example, in the same calendar year, you have garage sale, blah, 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 okay. You made more than 2 sales in a 12-month period, so the exemption does not apply. You have to charge and pay sales tax on this stuff. You made more than 2 sales in a 12-month period, okay? If those sales total more than $3,000, it's not your profit, that's just how much you brought in, $3,000, then you have to charge, report, and pay sales tax, okay? More than 2 sales reaching $3,000 limit on sales of personal items in a calendar year, you are considered to be engaged in business. You must obtain a sales tax permit and start collecting tax on all future sales of taxable items, okay? All right, now, that's going to be your taxable items. Let's talk about services, okay? This is another argument that I always have with people. There is sales tax on services, okay? Now listen, I'll be straight up with you. I'm in this boat too, okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can find one, because I think I pulled it up. I was looking at it. Where is it at? Is it personal services? Uh-oh. Now I can't find it. It's because it only lets me pull up one at a time. That's what's going on. So I did have it pulled up. Information services. Oh, crap. I can't find it. But anyway, there's a link in here that talks about accounting services. And you have to pay sales tax on accounting services. I do not pay sales tax on my accounting services. Be straight up with you. I don't do it, never have. But I am required to. All right. So these are just some of the services that are taxable. And again, guys, this is coming from Texas Comptroller. Okay. Again, I'll throw this stuff up in the description. So it says the term taxable service is defined in tax code section 151 to include 17 broad categories of services. Each category encompasses a variety of specific services. All right, so you see all these things here, okay? Information services, that's gathering information, newsletters, surveys, mailing lists, right? Let's go down to this. This is a big one, okay? I have a lot of people that's doing the remodeling stuff, right? Look at this. Appliance repair, furniture, refurbishing or upholstering, jewelry repair, cleaning, dog grooming, all that stuff is taxable. All that stuff is taxable. Laundering, dry cleaning, carpet cleaning, massage services, Turkish bath, escort services, okay? If you're an escort, you have to charge, report, and pay sales tax on those services, all right? Manicures, pedicures, tanning, piercing, tattooing, all taxable. Oh, wait, sorry. This actually says manicures, tanning, piercing, tattooing, and similar services are not taxable, all right? So those are not taxable. Again, there's a lot of stuff in this, okay? There's a lot of stuff in this. And I'm not going to go through everything, but I will throw up, like I said, the link so you can see all this stuff, all right? So this is taxable services for tangible personal property, remodeling of tangible personal property, Examples of labor that result in the sale of taxable items include photography, videography, producing artwork, printing, calligraphy, sewing, tailoring, woodworking. Okay, so all these services are going to be taxable. So again, if you're in business in Texas and you are providing a service and being paid for that, you're supposed to be charging, reporting, and paying sales tax. All right. Now let's talk about a big one. Okay, this is internet orders. All right. And again, this is coming from the Texas Comptroller. All right. This is internet orders. Buying on the internet. Whether the sale takes place online or in a store, Texas sellers must collect sales tax on taxable items sold and delivered to Texas locations. What that means is that if you are selling something online to someone who lives in Texas, you are supposed to charge, report, and pay sales tax on that. Now, I have a good friend of mine that's in the business of selling online, and he tells me that I think it's eBay or Amazon, one of them, they actually take care of all the sales tax for you. But I know there's still a lot of people out there that's selling stuff online that maybe aren't going through those companies, and so they're not, you know. Also, too, this is important for me to note that since, let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, this started, this is, where'd it go? This is a big one. Yeah, there you go. South Dakota v. Wayfair Inc. Okay, this was June 21st, 2018. And what the Supreme Court said was that states can start charging sales tax to people selling items in their state, even though the person does not have a business in that state. Okay, this is huge, guys. This is huge. Texas has adopted this, and it says that they will start enforcing it October 1st, 2019. Okay, there has been probably about maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 states that have started enforcing this. And what that means is that if you are a business in Texas and you're selling products to someone in Idaho, okay, if you meet certain guidelines, you will have to start charging, reporting, and paying sales tax to the state of Idaho. Okay, you may also have to go out and get a sales tax certificate for the state of Idaho. All right. Again, like I said, a lot of online retailers are already starting to do this stuff for people to keep them compliant, but there's a lot that aren't. Okay, so again, it's your responsibility. Now, I can imagine that there will be some states out there that's going to be enforcing this much stronger than others, especially those states that don't have a lot of revenue and that's hungry for money, right? I'll throw up a link on the description. I didn't pull it up today. I don't know why, but there is a link that is basically a long list of all the states who have adopted this new regulation and exactly what the thresholds are and when those thresholds will take place. Okay, one of the more important ones for us in Texas is Oklahoma and Louisiana. Both of those states have adopted a $10,000 threshold. What that means is if you sell more than $10,000 to persons in the state of Louisiana or Oklahoma, you are considered to have a business in those states. And because you have a business in those states, you have to, like I said, charge, report, and pay sales tax to those states. And again, that threshold is $10,000. That's very easy to hit. We're not talking about $10,000 profit. We're talking about $10,000 in sales. Very easy to hit. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. Let's see what else. Oh, this is kind of cool. I thought this is again. Oh, turn the camera around. This is the state tax code. Okay, the state tax code, and this is regarding caterers. Okay, now this is kind of cool. What you'll see here says sales of exempt food products or water. Okay. Says food and food ingredients are exempt from sales tax unless otherwise taxable under subsection C of this section. All right, so water is exempt. Okay, water is exempt. So if you're selling water, completely exempt. But if it is soft drinks, candy, or ice, it is taxable. Okay, it is taxable. Soft drinks, candy, ice, taxable. Water, not taxable. So again, if you are selling out of your home, you know, if you're the candy lady, right? this is not an issue unless somebody reports you, or unless somebody has it out for you, whether it be the property owners, whether it be some police officer, whoever. Okay, I'm serious. Anybody can report you, and once they report you, then you will be liable for the sales tax to the state of Texas. So be careful of that kind of stuff. Okay, I did a video about the business personal property tax a while back, and that tax is the same thing. It's a tax that everyone has to pay that's doing business in Texas, but most people don't pay it, and most people get away with not paying it until they don't. So that's a big one. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? This is a kind of weird one, but there is a difference between a use tax and a sales tax. Okay, and so this is just a good example of how this works. And again, this comes from the Texas Comptroller website. Okay, so it says, in general, local sales tax is based on the location of the seller's place of business. Local use tax, however, is based on the location where the customer receives the item. Okay, and so the example they give here, let's see if I can get down to it. Okay, so the use tax, guys, is basically 2%. We all know this, right? The state sales tax is 6.25, and then there's the local tax of not more than 2%. Every locality has their own tax, though, right? So some counties it's 1.25%. Some counties is 1.5%. Some counties is 2%. But in Texas, it can't be more than 2%. So most people just do 2% just to be safe. But just so you know, though, when you are reporting the sales tax, you do have the option of using the actual local sales tax rate. That actually may save you a little bit of money depending on how much you're actually having to report. Okay, here we go. Now I found it because I was looking for it. All right, here we go. So this is an example, okay? It says when a customer buys something in a store and leaves with it, for example, when a customer buys candy at a grocery store, that is an in-store sale, right? So if you make an in-store sales, you must collect local sales tax based on your store's location, right? And collect the 6.25% state sales tax in addition to the local sales tax. You do not, however, have to collect any local use tax, okay? Now, here's where you have to collect the use tax. What the heck? Why can't I find it? I was looking at it earlier. It must be on another page. Local taxes. Sorry. Thought I had this queued up already. Still local taxes. It must be down here at the bottom. All right, here we go. All right. So this is the example. Okay, now this is a use tax. Okay, and just so you have the definition, it says local use tax is due on the storage, use, or other consumption of a taxable item within local taxing jurisdiction. Boundaries. Sellers are only responsible for collecting local use tax if they're engaged in business in the local taxing jurisdiction. Okay. Now, here's an example. A taxable item purchased at a store in Seattle is shipped to an address in Austin. State use tax of 6.25% is due on the taxable item. Local use tax of 2% is due based on the ship to address. Okay. When state sales tax is due on the taxable item, local use tax may also be due if the item is shipped or delivered to a location in a different local taxing authority. Local sales tax and local use tax may be due on the same taxable item. Okay, this is still not what I'm looking for. All right, well, this is the problem with going live, right? Because it's live. But anyway, use tax is a tax on items that you purchase and then use for yourself. Okay, that is a use tax, and you have to pay that use tax on those items that you use for yourself. All right, so if you buy something and you don't pay the sales tax on it and you use it for yourself, you have to pay a use tax. Again, guys, this is stuff that doesn't get enforced very much. You'll get away with not having to do it, but again, you're supposed to do it. And if somebody reports you, then you will definitely be liable for it. So I think that covers everything. That is sales tax. So I have these arguments all the time. There you have it in black and white. Services are taxable. Products are taxable. If you're selling online to someone in Texas, it's taxable. If you're selling outside the state, it's not taxable unless you meet certain requirements for that state, and then it becomes taxable there as well. All right, sales tax. Don't get caught up. From me to you. Oh, and just to reiterate, if you want to save yourself some money, get a resale certificate. Stop paying sales tax on things. Report your sales tax. Just do a zero report every month or every quarter, whatever you got to do. Keep up with it, right? And you'll be good.